Cyril, the scenes at the end where the players were carried shoulder high and the crowd on the pitch, fantastic.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant for Clare, it's brilliant for Hurlandez, and like Kilkenny won't begrudge him that win. John Minogue, Cyril Lyons, Sean O'Harlan, Alan Dunn, these guys have put in the amount of work. It isn't just this year, it's gone back through the years. And to me, this year, they always had this Father McNamara thing as well. He was a good friend of theirs, a good friend of mine. He died during the year at their first match against Limerick. And I just felt, I had this feeling that it was going to be their title all year. I know now that sounds simple, but they played great stuff. They came through a hard campaign. Kilkenny were great champions, and it was great that they beat Kilkenny because Clare need this under-21 team coming through. They hadn't a good time senior. These guys are ready. A lot of them are going to go on to senior, and they're all playing at third level. And like, you know, the likes of Clonlara, new club in Clare, won their first intermediate or senior title there a year or two ago. There's 5 guys on the team that came up under 14, under 16. Now, that is what you need. And like, it just shows you the amount of work. They're not winning any minor titles, but it just shows you, Des, that you don't have to win the minor titles. These guys have come from not winning titles, and yet they put together a team of players that were very unlucky last year, went on this year, and put, like, it has put the icing on the cake after a great final last Sunday. It's another, you have titles gone. Cork won the intermediate, Galway won the minor, Clare won under the one, and Kilkenny won the senior. It shows you that the spread is coming, and that's what the hurling needs.
I was in the French Alps yesterday and talking to a fella from Clonlara about Clonlara. I never thought it would lead to this. It shows you the gospel must be spreading. But in terms of what it means, you were on a Waterford team that had a kind of similar victory in terms of impact on the county, Paul.
That's right, Des. I suppose in '92, it was Waterford's first underage All-Ireland for a couple of years, nearly 40 years, I suppose. But and in Clare, like they've been beaten in 12 months their under-21 finals, under 13 to beat Waterford there in the summer in a great game in Dungarvan. But like, it's like Waterford didn't have a successful senior team at the time, and the under-21 team was kind of pushed in, and like, I mean, maybe too much too soon. But it's important now that Clare don't do that, you know, with this, that they just blend them in slowly, whereas they can find their feet, and, you know, and kind of develop into the senior squad. Whereas there is a big difference, as we all know, between under-21 and senior. Like, it's the pace of the game and the hits that go in. But it's absolutely fantastic for Clare, and the brand of hurling they played all summer was absolutely brilliant. It's
interesting you say that, given what Cyril said about the fact that the senior team has struggled a bit, or is perceived to have struggled this year, you know.
Yeah, well, like what Paul says is true. You can't put them all in, but a lot of them will be going in there because Clare needs that impetus, and these guys are winners. That's the big thing. They're going from a winning background, and they'll bring a new buzz to a panel. You bring new lads in there, they'll be mad to play. They'll want to play in every game they can, and you never know. A few wins and a team can grow overnight.
Right. Paul, Kilkenny, as ever, were tigerish. Clare couldn't get space. The frees from Colin Ryan were crucial, weren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, Clare kind of started the game, you know, very well. They took on the Kilkenny defence and kind of drawing the man and kind of creating the fouls. But in fairness, Colin Ryan, we saw him earlier on the summer against Tipperary in the senior championship, was outstanding. And today again, not easy for a free taker today, that's hitting into empty terraces and empty stands, but he was absolutely unerring. He missed one, I think, but at vital times during the game. The first half kept him in it, but this one in particular, to make a draw of it, like with 2 or 3 minutes to go from his own half. And you know, he was kind of quiet enough from general play, but like, I mean, any time he stood over a free, he was supremely confident, and only for him, you know, they struggled a bit.
Donald Toohey in the Clare goal played his part too, Cyril.
Yeah, and I'm delighted for him because he had heartache last year, you know, controversial. This guy, like this, watch this ball here, typical Kilkenny. Martin goes up along here, wing back, lovely little ball here, looks a little into Finlay. Now Finlay again, cross here to Richie Hogan. Richie has to have a snapshot, but he drills it. Fantastic save. Now, he doesn't know where it's gone over the bar, but I really believe if that went into the back of the net, like it'd be game over. Welsh gets up, lovely ball, picks out Finlay, Finlay picks out Richie, and Richie goes for it to put them 4 up instead of only 2 up.
Yeah. Did you think with 5 minutes to go, when Kilkenny were a point ahead, who did you think were going to win it then, Paul?
Well, Clare were on the ascendancy, Des, maybe in the last, after that save in particular, like they were a point down, that would have put 4 points in it. But from then on, Clare outscored Kilkenny to the end, you know. But in particular, like, I mean, they picked off points that they hadn't been doing in the previous 45 minutes. But we were all kind of waiting for Kilkenny just to nudge that bit, you know, from maybe years gone by. But you can see the work rate of the Clare lads. They kind of bottle up, and it comes out here to you know, Donovan, and in fairness, or John Collins, sorry, takes a couple of tackles, and off he's left on the run, going away from the goal, and kind of hitting it back to a great score. And that kind of, you know, the Clare crowd at that stage were on their feet. But here's a great bit of play, a nice pass out, a good touch in, steps inside, and like that's fully 50 yards on the run again off his left. And the umpires are kind of, is it, isn't it? But, you know, that was greeted with a great roar, and that was the winning point, and super score there from Cormac O'Donovan.
That ability to stick in there was crucial, but also Kilkenny may look back on some of their chances. They had a lot of chances here.
Yeah, well, Kilkenny got 1 point from a free, and they had a lot of chances, and this doesn't usually happen to Kilkenny. Now, here's a lovely pass out here to Mark Bergen. Tough centre forward, has all the time in the world. Now, this ball floats in and floats wide, and they missed a few like this that put them in the driving seat. Now, here again, you're going to see here, Colin Finlay gets onto the end of this. Now, he does all the hard work, catches this great, comes across here on his left side, puts it away. He got 2 good points in play, but he'll rule that kind of a miss. And, you just can't, that'll put Kilkenny in the driving seat. And you're going to see another one come up here as well now. This goes out here to Mark Bergen. Now, he had a great game. He got 3 points in play from midfield. It's a not for any player, but that one floats wide. These would have hit the post there, but these would have put Kilkenny. You'd be expecting Kilkenny to get this. When they look back on the tape, they're going to be disappointed that they had, Michael Welsh referred to there in his interview afterwards. They had the chance to put Clare away and they didn't. But it just goes to show that Kilkenny players are human as well.
Mind you, we equally saw in the Clare interviews, they felt they couldn't put away Kilkenny either.
It was that kind of a game, but it was seesaw both ways, but it just had the feeling this year that Clare came through a tough campaign. They beat Waterford down in Waterford. They beat Galway in a great semi-final. They had a harder campaign, I would think, than Kilkenny.
Well, that's our full back line today, even Des. There was question marks over our full back line, and I thought they were absolutely outstanding today. They didn't give Kilkenny, bar Richie Hogan, didn't give him a sniff of a goal. So
it was one of those days when you couldn't pick out a bad
Keane Dillon was missing all year and had a bad injury. I met him there in the Gradies Garth one night coming back from broken ankle, actually. He's back after 6 weeks. He went in full back. Glynn had a great game inside the corner. Doherty's the captain. You had 3 Crusheen lads, 1 in goals, 2 quarterback, full back. It was kind of a club spirit there. And then you had all the Clonlara lads. It was a kind of a club county team.
Yeah. Clubs that traditionally haven't been the bigger clubs in Clare.
Well, that's the unusual thing here. You haven't that many from, say, 6 Mile Bridge or Clare Castle. You have the one from Newmarket. But use your Dura Bearfield aren't in it. Usually you'd have these. But it just shows you the way the spread is going. And it comes from the structures underneath, all the work being done at underage level.
Right. Let me expand that point that Cyril made about the tough match. Obviously, Clare against Waterford, that thriller, and Dungarvan and the Galway match. Kilkenny, on the other hand, came through Leinster comfortably enough. Dublin put it up some in the final, but then they played Antrim. Yeah. And without taking from Antrim, was that a disadvantage, do you think?
Oh, I'd say there's no question, Des. The Leinster final, while Kilkenny got 2 early goals, it was kind of... It wasn't that competitive, really, on the scoreboard. Then they went to Antrim and won quite easy, whereas Clare had a great game. I think they played Cork, first of all. Then they played Waterford and Dungarvan, and kind of got a real fright in the first 10 minutes of that game where Waterford could have got 2 or 3 goals. Yeah. And Clare brought Nicky O'Donnell back centre-back, and they stepped up a gear, and they were excellent on the night. A real tough game, and that went right down to the wire. And then we all saw the thriller there a few weeks ago in Thurles on the Saturday, where it went to extra time, and it was a real open game, and they had plenty of chances, and they conceded plenty of chances as well to Galway. But it was to win a tight game, I think, is worth anything to a team, rather than be beating teams, at your ease.
Yeah, which paid off today.
Oh, absolutely. But as young O'Donovan said there at the end of it, he said they knew they were after being in tight battles already, and that they just, they weren't going to let this one slip.
Well, Cyril, what about changing the situation at under 21 and maybe Antrim and Galway being in Leinster? What's your view on that?
Well, I suppose if ever there was an open draw coming, you could have an open draw in the under 21 competition. Because there isn't that many top teams in it, and to just make a change for everyone, and be interesting to see, just to do it give it a 2 or 3 year trial and see what would happen, see how it would work. You wouldn't have a Munster final or a Leinster title or an Ulster kind of title as such, but you would have an open draw, and to be interested to see how it goes, and then you'd have them thrown in. To be real kind of a European Cup affair, but to give you an idea how it might work for senior hurling.
It was interesting, mind you, there were good crowds. I mean, there was a great crowd in Dungarvan and Clare Waterford, Clare Galway and Thurles, Kilkenny Dublin. I mean, there was lots of interest.
Yeah, and you have to realise, well, that that game was in Thurles today, even on its own. It's great to see the Camogie, kind of the sister association coming together, and need both of them there, roughly around 30,000. But you'd get a vast, you'd nearly have as many Clare days in between Clare and Kilkenny if it was actually played in Thurles.
But you can see how serious Kilkenny take it as they just feed the senior team year after year, 2 or 3 players every year come from the under-21 panel just to make it more competitive and make the lads fight for their places. If you go by last Sunday's programme, they had 35 under-21 medals between them. So it's incredible,
More than all of Clare. So Richie Hogan today, you felt was struggling with...
Well, he was struggling with injury. He still got 4 points, 3 from play. He's still a great player. And he did things today, he has little hand flicks and the touches. He's a brilliant player. Even for that shot for the goal, most people wouldn't even got the shot in because he'd been blocked down. But definitely he was carrying that ankle injury. He couldn't move, but he's still a great player. He's one for the future. You're going to see he'll slip in to corner forward. He'll be full-time permanent, say, on the team next year when he gets fully fit.
Great. OK, we wish him well. Lads, thank you very much for joining us.